Hi, Amanda.
Hi, Tanya, how are you?
I'm great. So good to see you now.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, so I'll introduce you.
Mm-hmm,
This is Amanda Cannon. Do I
mm-hmm,
say your name correctly? Yeah.
mm-hmm.
And Amanda owns or runs Heal with Amanda, which is a Facebook page and also your own business. Amanda is a healer. Would you call yourself a healer?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. You work with shadows, one
yeah,
part of your work. You're
yeah.
using hypnotherapy
Mm-hmm.
and to just basically help people to unblock some of the blockages that stop them from moving forward in their life journey and spiritual journey. I was
Yeah,
very lucky.
absolutely.
I was very lucky to meet Amanda through our reflective practice
Mm-hmm.
as hypnotherapists. And myself,
Yeah,
should I introduce myself as
yeah,
well?
go right ahead. Or would you like me to talk about you?
Please go for it. Yes.
Yeah, so Tanya is much the same as myself, working as a hypnotherapist. I'm unsure how to pronounce your surname, so
Yeah,
I'll
that's
just leave
okay.
that
Don't worry about
one,
it.
leave that one out. Yes, but working to heal people, really helping them to integrate the parts of them that people find challenging to come face to face with, the parts of them that are holding them back in life and their limiting beliefs and everything. But you have such a wonderful touch of really tuning into those parts of people, to make those parts feel safe so that people can integrate them. It's really wonderful. I really, really enjoyed working with you.
Oh, thank you. Myself as well. Amanda had a session on me,
Yeah.
and we could talk a little bit about that if people are interested,
Mm-hmm.
maybe in later meetings, if it's
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Yeah.
So, and I'm also on a journey of, let's say, when a lot of things have been unloaded, a lot of trauma from my system was unloaded, and a lot of the trauma energy was reintegrated. So I feel space and health within my
Mm.
body and
Yeah.
my emotions and my spirit as well. But I do have blockages or
Yeah.
blocks or that fear that is holding me back, that makes me cling to my identity that has been created for me first by my parents, grandparents, then was created by myself, living in different countries and surviving different situations in life. So now, as I'm moving forward and wanting to do more, I open up my potential more as a spiritual being, and who is living within a 3D reality,
Yeah.
human body, and allowing myself to express myself,
Mhm.
in a full essence. I There was a big block for me to do that.
Yeah.
So it has to do with opening up to the gifts that you
Mhm.
have. One
Yes.
of them was channeling,
Yeah.
talked about, which Amanda helped me with, because channeling freaks me out. This is something I don't understand, very foreign, very unfamiliar. And Amanda she had a beautiful session where she really spoke to the eternal inner part of me that is wise and which is always present and has all the answers and is able to support me. So that was a wonderful session. I hope we can talk more. But today, we are really here to introduce ourselves
Yeah.
and talk a little bit about shadow work, because
Yeah. Yeah.
it would be interesting for people to know what is the shadow, roles of shadows in our lives, and also how we can integrate this energy, and should we be afraid of shadows. So
Mm.
I'll be quiet for a while and I allow to talk.
Yeah. So shadow work, I feel, is just extremely important for anyone wanting to progress in life for any reasons, really, because it's the perceived shadows. And I actually don't even really like the term shadow, because it sort of has a somewhat negative connotation towards it, and I don't feel that it should be perceived that way. But it's just so important, because, you know, our shadow selves are often what's holding us back in life. And then particularly on the spiritual journey, when people embark on the spiritual journey, they're, you know, wanting to bring in their gifts, you know, learn to live from a place of love, from the heart space, and manifest, you know, their dreams and their abundance and all of that sort of stuff. But, you know, we can't get to this, you know, whole love and light, rainbows and unicorns ways of being without doing the shadow work. You know, love and light, yin and yang, dark, and, you know, you have to do it. So the shadow, I guess, are the parts of ourselves that we want to detach from, I guess, or we don't want to acknowledge. Often parts of ourselves that were created to protect us. And they might be, you know, things like anger. For me, anger was a massive one. Or, I don't know, greed's just coming to me for some reason. Just, you know, these things that, you know, often when we're finding ourselves judging another person, oh, this person's, you know, always late, or this person is too up themselves, or whatever it is, when we're judging other people, that's a reflection of our own shadow, I suppose you could say. What are your thoughts on what the shadow is?
Yeah, shadow is an interesting word as well. It's more used in so for people who work in spiritual, so the spiritual people, they use shadow work, light work. And for me, I would talk in terms of symptoms or extreme parts of us, like say, I'm overeating, or I am shouting, or I go out of control. It's that trigger that overtakes me. And so when I stop thinking, almost, you know, I'm become completely unconscious. I become that feeling. I can't separate myself. I'm completely blended with whatever overtakes me. And because we are out of control, we start thinking, this is the thing that controls me. The shadow, I would call it trauma energy. Any kind of energy that makes you unconscious, because it overtakes you. And the reason it overtakes you, because it's covered. When it's covered, when during the daily life we cover it up. And we cover it up, or we turn away from it because it's misunderstood, it's undesirable, it's something I dislike about myself. I don't like shouting at my children. I don't like overeating. I don't like not getting out of the couch. That's something that we judge about ourselves, and something when we don't know what to do about, because we've been struggling with it for a long time. And the more we fear that part, the more we dislike it, the more we try to pack it inside, forget about it, disconnect from it, put it in the dungeons of the unconsciousness. And then the more we do that, the stronger it seems to be, because when you resist something, it persists. And as we move forward in life, we start going through life transitions as adults. Like, I need to move my house, I'm getting married, I'm starting a business, and we're attempting these big things in our lives. We're creating these big goals that we want to manifest, and we can't, because whatever is within, in the unconscious part, the strong parts that once were the protectors, the ones that we hate, they drain our energy. They don't let us move forward with our adult goals.
That's exactly right.
They keep us stuck in the past. So if the past lives in me and through me, if I'm already manifesting this past through my thinkings, through my body reactions, through the stresses in my body, if I'm manifesting the past, how can I possibly manifest something else?
That's absolutely right. Yeah. You explained it so well. So well. And I love how you say about, you know, when it overcomes you, or like you blend, it's like your consciousness shuts down and your subconsciousness takes over, because, you know, this is the subconscious programming, isn't it? And that's why hypnotherapy is so beneficial, because it's dealing direct with the subconscious mind, so we can really get into those shadow aspects.
Yes, that works for me. Hypnotherapy worked for me, and this was the only modality that really worked to help me with my own trauma.
Yeah.
It's when you turn off this this chattering mind, the mind that analyzes, the prefrontal cortex, which is a evolutionary and new brain. So it's learning, it's doing things for us, but it's like somebody called it a baby genius. It's very curious, it likes to look, it's observant, but it gets scared because the other parts of the brain, which are evolutionary, more ancient, like reptile brain and the middle brain, they overtake. So we try to use the conscious control of a baby genius, but we can't do that because we're not there yet. We're evolving into that. That's why we can project. But once the fear overtakes us and we ask the prefrontal cortex, look back, we're frozen.
Yeah.
We can never fight. We can never analyze enough. We can never understand enough. Whatever happened to us on an emotional level and on physiological level, we have to go straight there and deal with whatever is there.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the conscious mind doesn't really help us with that. That's why hypnotherapy is so powerful.
Yeah.
Going into those places.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely. And sorry, remind me what was next on the list, please.
So once we look at those shadows or the emotions, the feelings, and we look at them in the place of origin.
Yeah.
That's an interesting thing for me, because when you look, you go into the place of origin of this, say, symptom, I'm overeating or I'm ruminating, and you look at it and you realize that it's got a very specific job that it's doing for you.
Yes. Yeah.
The roles. So understanding the role of that part, of that shadow part that it's taken on itself. It's basically like a burden for them. It's something they took on. It's become extreme for them. They are tired of carrying on this burden. They never get any appreciation for that or validation.
Yeah.
Because our consciousness keeps hating them, basically doing their jobs. They are very misunderstood parts, those shadow parts. That's what I find.
Yeah.
So it's always interesting to go beyond the consciousness. And when we are opening up the data of the emotional brain and reptile brain and higher levels of or deeper levels of unconsciousness and subconsciousness, then it's very interesting to look at the origin of those parts, don't you think?
Absolutely. And those origins can manifest in, you know, such, you know, interesting ways. And as you would know, like a case study that I think comes to mind that we would have learned in our training was about the client who, you know, felt small as a child, and due to her not being able to switch the light switch on when she was in the bedroom. She had to go to bed in the bedroom. She couldn't open the door, switch the light switch on, and she was in the room alone in the dark, whilst her older sister was out, you know, eating, doing whatever, but still up. And she was just had this constant thought in her head as that little person, if only I was bigger, I would be able to get out of this room. And then lo and behold, as an adult, she's carrying this excess weight that she just can't seem to shed for no matter, like, even though she may not necessarily eat that badly, just carrying this excess weight because she was held on so strongly to the fact that she wanted to be bigger as a child, and the mind didn't understand the difference between big as in tall and big as in large. And that's like an interesting origin and just how it can manifest.
Yes, yeah. And that's a very good example. And we see this in our clients all the time. That's why one of the reasons they come is that because they want to look at that origin. And say, if it's any kind of symptoms, I'm overeating, I'm carrying extra weight, or I am angry all the time, or I'm stuck in my relationships, or I'm attracting same kind of person all the time. So it's just one of the ways to give yourself another perspective on your own inner ecology. Understanding why I am doing it, and stop judging and hating yourself. Instead of saying why, in terms of like, oh my God, why am I so bad? What's wrong with me? Why? We're turning into this, why is this working? It wouldn't be there, it wouldn't be working if it didn't have a purpose. Because this is basic with all energy in life. If it doesn't have a purpose, it's not going to come to life. It's not going to exist. So everything needs an origin. Like energy needs to have purpose to become life. I believe in that, and I see that happening all the time. It cannot, you create it. And sometimes it's harder for people to understand, no, I didn't create it. But where is the personal responsibility and personal power? You're more powerful than you think. You've created all those little things that now you're trying to look at them from the perspective of a 40-year-old, a 35-year-old, when things were originated much earlier in your life, preconception, before conception, in the womb. We have very intelligent systems. We are gifted with such a beautiful inner technology. And then, so we are still babies. How we're trying to understand ourselves.
Yes, definitely.
Without judging ourselves. We're doing our best.
Absolutely. But I feel like just going on to the parts, and you're talking about the womb and stuff, like I want to share my own experience that has just sort of have allowed me to take a massive jump in my own progress. And that was from my session with you, just talking about the part of this anger that I, most people would come across me and say that they get this really chilled, laid back vibe off me. However, in certain situations, it's like that until it's not. And then the anger is possessive. And since having children, I struggled with that so badly. And that is what led to my spiritual journey, a desperate need to get the anger under control because it was out of control. And I've worked on it over time, peeling away the layers, but then understanding that anger first formed in the womb, because I could, in the womb, feel the love and light of my soul, the unconditional love, but I could also feel the density of the 3D world. And I was fearful from the moment of conception, of what I was about to be born into. And so I immediately had walls up, and then they just grew over time. And I didn't want to let my light shine. So anytime I felt that I was threatened, this anger part needed to sort of grow and grow. And it's just grown bigger and bigger and bigger until it turned into a massive tornado. And now that I understand that, I can now work with the part of me who came up with this anger to protect me. And I've now come to an agreement of it, that when I speak affirmations and even when I channel light language, that anger is still protecting me, because we're protecting me now in the way that supports my life today as an adult, where you know, I want to, this is my life today. And then the anger still, you know, it still feels fearful sometimes, and I can feel that within me. And when I need to, I'm now able to soothe the part. I talk to it, and you know, we can work together. And it's just so important that when doing the shadow work, or when people talk about hypnotherapy, like, we want to release it, everything's about releasing. Yes, we do want to release what we can release, but there are certain things. That anger has been with me since I was in the womb. It wasn't going anywhere. It was like, oh no, it turned into a tornado when it thought I was trying to get rid of it. And instead, when, you know, if you embrace it, show love and compassion, and embrace it and give it a new role in your life that works with you the way it is today, for you today, it's just a much healthier way of integrating it and, you know, bringing to light that shadow self.
Yes, that's a beautiful way to put it. And I always say that whatever is working in us that feels extreme and unbearable, and we want to run away and we're scared of it, is actually stuck or in their own protective roles.
Yeah.
And they are innocent in their pain because it hurts, because there is no any other way out, and there is no hope, there is no compassion or understanding. And we often deal with quite hopeless systems that they tried working their way for a long time when adult was absent, like children. As children, we get traumatized, and there is no emotional available adult to rebalance, regulate us, right? So that's when the stuckness happens. And that's when our systems are so intelligent, so creative, they always come up with something to protect us, which later becomes misunderstood.
Yes.
Yes. You know what? Now there is a hail this size. Hail is just falling.
Oh, wow. I didn't know it was raining in Melbourne.
It's hailing this
it's
size.
Hailing.
I'm like, what's going on? Somebody got stuck in that. I wonder if the car survived.
Yeah, like, is your car undercover?
No, it's not, but all right. That's very interesting.
Do you need to go do something about that?
I'm not getting out of it. No, getting out of the house. No.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
You know, I can talk to you for ages, for ages. And today we talked a little bit about shadow, the protective roles that our darker parts that we think they're darker parts that we carry within, the protective roles that they had to take, which are burdens for them. And we also talked about integrating, that you showed with our story, is that it's your energy. It's part of your energy, part of your being, that from which you try to disconnect, from which you hide, which you fear. This is all part of your energy. So when we work, we really don't want to disconnect and make you forget. We want you to welcome it back and allow that part to transform in any way it wants to transform.
Yeah.
If it doesn't want to transform, that's fine as well. There is always something we can learn from it. And basically reintegrating our own energy. It's like welcoming ourselves back to ourselves. And it becomes more and more of me. I become beautiful for myself. Oh, I have this aspect, and I can do this, and I can do so many different things. So it's very exciting, nurturing, I shouldn't say playful, but for me it's a playful journey. It's like,
yeah, I would say it definitely is as well. And I just want to put it like in the spiritual aspect, when you say like you get more of you, like we're integrating those parts, we're actually healing the soul fragmentation. So we're actually are parts of our souls that are lost in time and space due to the trauma. We're bringing those parts of our souls and becoming whole again.
Yeah, this is beautifully put. Yeah, soul, collecting your soul back. Yeah, and everybody can do that.
Yes,
because once we disintegrate it because we have a power to do that for the purpose to protect ourselves. Once we are having objectives to become more whole, to achieve better life, create better lifestyle, we want to manifest. We cannot do that until we unmanifest whatever is living there, understand it better, have compassion, bring it all together. So we start manifesting from the space of coherence, self-understanding, self-compassion, and anybody can do that. And I just would like to mention that Amanda is giving an offer this month until August. Yes,
31st. Yes, that's right.
Yes, until the August 31st. She's put out an offer for discounted sessions with her.
Yeah, for the 30-day package is currently 50% off, so just $277.
Yeah, so we're not selling anything on Facebook, but you can connect with Amanda, chat with her, follow her. She can do a lot of different things, but the most important thing, it's not just the skills that she has, but the presence that she brings. She brings the self, she brings the compassion, she brings more of herself, and she'll be able to guide you.
Thank you,
as
Tanya.
She has
That's
guided
wonderful.
me.
Yeah, and as you've done to me as well, you do exactly the same.
Oh, thank you. We can say bye now, and if anybody is interested in the topics that we are discussing, we just decided to just show up and do a little recording and put it out there and see if it gets response, or what the network shows us. So it's just like a little test.
I think it's to see, because you can feel quite alone in the spiritual journey as well. So to hear other people having a general conversation about their journeys, because if we do this again, we can get more in depth into our own journeys and our own experiences, and just, you may be able to relate to it and you might find comfort in that. So if you definitely want to hear more, let us know.
Yeah, beautifully put. That's a wonderful ending. Thank you so much to everyone who's watched us. Interesting that I'm black and white.
I don't know what happened there. Maybe it's the storm.
We're talking about the shadows.
I know, you're the shadow on the light.
All the color is gone. You know what I see? It's all black, and this much hail on the ground. I'm going to take a photo of that. Okay. Right. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you for coming and making time for this. And I hope to talk to you again soon.
Absolutely. I can't wait. All right. Take care, Tanya.
Bye.